Why is unemployment so bad? Why is the US workforce struggling to, well, recover? Why are all these companies complaining that they can't hire the people needed for their jobs? Well, Major Business Group calls for ending $300 federal bonus and unemployment checks, blaming it for weak April job gains. Yes, this is the reason. You could look at this as an almost like test run for UBI, but this is the reason for why companies can't find people anymore. So if you're looking for a job, this may be the time to start firing off resumes left and right. Because the problem here, and talk to almost any business owner, like say that have a restaurant or a bar or a store, any business like that, and they'll tell you that they can't get their old employees back that they may have had to temporarily let go because of the government lockdowns, because they're making more money sitting at home doing whatever they want than they would be if they had their job. That's the situation a lot of business owners are in. And I think was some restaurant owner went on Dave Rubin's show. He goes into a lot of detail about this because, yeah, he had to lay off temporarily a bunch of people while the government shut everything down. And then as soon as they were allowed to reopen, he was calling them up, asking if they wanted their jobs back. And they're like, nah, no, thanks. I actually make more money on unemployment than I did working. So why the hell would I go back, right? Now, the funny thing is the second part of this is going to be massive inflation. That's the one thing that the pro-UBI crowd never wants to talk about, which is once you get a good chunk of the population realizing they can make more money sitting at home than working, then what they're probably going to do is, inflation is going to skyrocket, like out of that just as a side effect of that. And then that's like whatever $2,000 or whatever they're proposing for UBI, that's basically going to be almost nothing. You're still going to have to go out and get a job on top of that. You're not going to be able to live on that. So what are they going to do? Just like with the minimum wage, right? Oh, fight for 15. We should have $15,000 a month in UBI. They're just going to keep increasing it, which will keep jacking up the prices on everything. And congratulations, we now have runaway inflation. That's where the world's headed. The disappointing April jobs report prompted the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, or COC, on Friday to call for an end to the $300 federal bonus and weekly unemployment checks, suggesting it's discouraging the unemployed from taking new jobs. Yeah, so I don't know how it is now, but last time I was on unemployment, one of the conditions for being on unemployment is I have to apply to at least 5 jobs a week. And they don't require any proof of it usually, but that you can be randomly selected to provide proof. And thankfully, I was documenting everything because like 2 months later, I got something from them in the mail from the unemployment office. Like, hey, we're going to need you to provide proof for the jobs you applied for during this week. So it's risky to not. I mean, most people on unemployment never get that letter. So I just got lucky, so to speak. Maybe it's just where I live. I don't know. It depends on the state, I believe. But it's kind of stupid to not have at least some requirement that we're talking about. Like these people had sometimes their old employer contacts them and offers them their old job back. And they just go, nah, I'm making more on unemployment. You could take your job and shove it. Now, in the short term, that's actually a smart idea. But you know what's going to happen long term? How much you guys want to bet that the same people who are voluntarily rejecting job offers because they make more on unemployment, in a few months when their unemployment runs out and they can't get a job, they're going to be crying that their old employer laid them off during COVID and then replaced them with someone else. So they didn't let me get my job back. No, they made you like 2 offers. You just didn't want it back. And you can't complain if they replace you. under those circumstances. The economy added just 266,000 jobs last month, well below the 995,000 economists had forecast, according to their median estimate in a Bloomberg survey. Well, maybe if they weren't jacking up their numbers to try to make President Harris look good, maybe they wouldn't have been disappointed. The disappointing report makes it clear that paying people not to work is dampening what should be a stronger jobs market. Neil Bradley, Chamber Executive Vice President, said in a statement, "One step policymakers should take now is ending the $300 weekly supplemental unemployment benefit." Bradley added that a chamber analysis found that the bonus means 1 in 4 unemployment recipients take home more in unemployment than they did working. So what motivation do they have to go back to work again? All right, none. Literally no reason to go back to work. And I don't blame them either. I'd probably do the same thing. If I had a choice to not work and get paid more than I do now working, I'd have to be a fucking idiot to not take that. Now, only considering short term anyway. Now, long term, eventually unemployment runs out and you're going to be fucked. But short term, it's a very smart idea. Now, several studies have concluded that the perk has not dissuaded unemployed people from seeking or accepting new jobs. Yeah. So studies, quote unquote, out of academia that's explicitly trying to push UBI. The Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco found short-term income boost didn't outweigh the value of a longer-term stable income that a job provides. Yeah, that's what academia says. And meanwhile, you look at business owners and they'll tell you straight up, I offered these guys their jobs back, but they said, nah, I'm making more in unemployment. But employers have anecdotally reported that many job candidates are applying for open positions but not showing up for interviews or turning down job offers. Some of the candidates have acknowledged they applied simply to meet the state's job search requirements to keep receiving benefits. Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. But where I live, the thing is, if you get a job offer, you're not allowed to refuse it. If you're on unemployment and someone offers you a job, like someone you applied to offers you a job, if you refuse the job offer, you basically make yourself ineligible for unemployment. Now, usually it'll be pretty hard for them to find out that that's what happened. But if that employer reports you, ruh-roh. There are a lot smarter ways to get out of it, though. Yeah, show up late to your interview. Yeah, that's one. That's a good idea. Or also, you could intentionally bomb the interviews. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. The benefits are due to expire in September, but perhaps people think jobs will be just as easy to find then as they are now, so why take a job today? Economist Ian Shepherdson of Pantheon Macroeconomics wrote in a note to clients. That is absolutely true, and that's what's going to bite them in the ass. So, all the rest of you, if you are considering, like if you're either unemployed now and looking for work, or if you're considering leaving your current job and finding a better one, now would be a good time to do that. Because come September, when these benefits expire, all these people who've been refusing job offers are suddenly going to start looking again, only to find that they've all been filled. Oops. Yeah, on Thursday, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster ordered an end to the state participating in the federal unemployment benefits programs related to the pandemic at the end of June. He said the programs contributed to labor shortages because many workers were receiving more than they did in wages. Absolutely. Anyone with a functioning brain could have told you that. If you pay people more money to not work than they would have been getting paid working, why would they work? Man, I actually forget the long versus short term. Given where my life is now, if someone offered to pay me the same as my job is paying me, like it doesn't even have to be more, but just like through the end of this year, they'd pay me exactly the same as my job is paying me now, and I wouldn't even have to work. And the catch is that it would just be cut off completely in December, and obviously I wouldn't have a job anymore. I'd probably take it because I think I got enough side gigs I could work on. I could more if I had an extra 8 hours a day, I could more than make up for that if I had like 8 months to do it. So after the government lockdowns triggered an unprecedented 22 million job losses last spring, particularly at bars, restaurants, and hotels, and in recreation and travel, Congress added $600 supplements to weekly state unemployment checks through July. President Orange Man approved a $300 federal bonus in August for just 6 weeks, but Congress renewed it as part of the $900 billion spending bill passed in December. Other factors may also be contributing to worker shortages that held down job gains last month, including workers caring for sick relatives or children's distance learning from home during the government lockdowns, economists and staffing officials say. Yeah, that last one's a possibility, but that's why it's important to have two-parent homes right there. But either way, that's not the point of this discussion. The point is, if you pay people more to not work than you pay them to work, they will choose to not work. This ain't rocket surgery here. These people, they may be quote unquote poor, but they're not stupid. They're not as dumb as you think they are. They will take the best deal they can get. That's just human nature. When it comes to a fight between biology, human nature, things like that, and society, biology and human nature always wins in the end. So just accept that. Oh man, I am so excited to tell you guys right now that finally, after about a year of build-up and shilling, we have launched Blade Devil on Indiegogo, and so far it is doing so well thanks to awesome people like you. If you haven't backed it yet, then please check the links in the description and check out Blade Devil on Indiegogo. You will not be disappointed. Looking forward to seeing you there.